How'd you get started?
Wow. How did you start, AJ? I think we even met around the same time.
So I met you a couple years after. So actually, I started out in radio. I moved into artist development, where I was working for Michael Bivins from New Edition Biv 10 Records, and that trickled into styling, and then that trickled into makeup.
Wow.
I literally started doing makeup because I was on a shoot and we were working with this 16-year-old girl, and I come from a world where we pull references to decide like what this girl would look like, and the makeup artist could not get these references. And I was like, man, if I had your stuff, I would just do this myself. And in the moment, thinking about it, it sounded far-fetched, but I sat back and I thought, like, I need to go figure this out. So fast forward, I worked on a movie called 8 Mile. You may have seen it or heard of it. In the costume
Wow.
department, and then I was invited to come to LA to finish the movie. So with $500 and a bus ticket, I was off to LA. And that literally changed the entire course of my life. Fergie from Black Eyed Peas was my first client. Then
How does Fergie from Black Eyed Peas become your first client, though?
because at the time, like she was just on the ground level. Like she hadn't really gotten the Peas yet. She was making her comeback basically. So this is like her new group. We were all poor, and I had met her through Will I Am's then stylist, who was basically doing a runway show for him. And then we just connected, and she had like this little white Mustang, this 1986 white Mustang, wearing wife beaters and Dickies, and we hit it off. In the early years, like literally we were splitting my airfare to make sure I could go with her where she had to go. And it wasn't a lot of money, but it was a great experience until it became a lot of money. And
how'd your family react to this is what I want to do? Because people that are in the arts, usually the family's like, you sure you want to do that? You don't want to get something stable?
To be honest, I don't think they really understood what I was setting off to do. And the day that I left to get on that bus, I didn't tell anybody that I was doing it until I was on the bus. The bus was pulling out, and I called my mother and I just said, hey, like, I think I'm going to try to go to LA again. And she was like, when do you think you're thinking about going? I said, I think I'm going to go right now. And she's like, wait, where are you? I said, I'm on the Greyhound. And she's like, what? It's like, she said, okay, well, how long is it going to take you to get there? And I said, well, 3 days. And she said, well, when are you coming back? And I was just like, I don't know. And
Wow.
she was like, okay, like, well, have everything you need? I said, I think so. I mean, I have a place to stay when I get there. And that was just kind of it. I was just off on this adventure. And I think I was just open. So Mark Bridges, who was the costume designer of 8 Mile, he said to me, he was like, AJ, I have a spare room in my house. It's just me and my brother that live there. The house is big enough. You need to get out of Detroit. Like, you are much bigger than what this city can offer you. And I see that in you, and I want to give you that. So if you can get to LA, if you want to do that, the place is open. I didn't call Mark until maybe 2 days into the trip. And I was just, hey, Mark, is that opportunity still available? Because I found this window of opportunity to get out, and I'm out. And he's like, well, when are you going to be here? I was like, I will be there tomorrow. He's like, where are you? I was like, I'm on the Greyhound.
That guy.
In Vegas. And so he was like, okay, I wasn't expecting you so soon, but I'll come and pick you up. And it was awesome. It was just, it just, I don't know.
I love that for our viewers that are watching. And I like people sharing their stories because, listen, there's a fork in the road, right? I can take the safe route and just do, something that gets me by, or I can go ahead and take a chance, take a leap of faith and go to LA with $500 and be on a Greyhound bus and see what happens. And, I think this is a business where there's no guarantees, and you kind of have to have that spirit of, what, I'm going to go for it. How did you get started and become this celebrity hairstylist?
Wow. I have so I'm originally from Washington, DC, and back in those days, my dream was to do the biggest girls in DC, and those stars were the drug dealer girlfriends. And I was doing those. I was be like, those were like stars to me. Like, I want to do those girls, because they had the money, So I'm like 17, graduated from high school and hair school all at the same time. I grew my clientele. I never had another job, so I don't know how to do anything else. This is it. Hair is all I know. And I blew up in like probably 3 to 4 years in DC or whatever. And then I met Puffy just kind of out. Puffy used to come to like Howard games and parties and like kind of talk to some of my girls, like, just kind of being in our circle. And I decide to go do a hair show with a friend of ours, a mutual friend. Go to New York, do the show. I'm like probably like 21 or so. And I'm like, bring all these people up there, do this show in Brooklyn. It was a mess, but it really inspired me to see a different place and think. A year or two later, by the time I was 23, I go to New York, met this girl, her salon, everybody came to the salon. So I had to meet Biggie, Mary, Total, I meet everybody. I meet Puff, the whole thing. And meeting him really did spiral my career just from hanging out. He was like, hey, I want you to do my artist hair. And he had just started managing Faith Evans. But he was managing Mary, but Faith was his first artist. So he had me doing Faith. Oh, do this hair. Oh, I don't like that. Do it again. Then I'll give her the blonde hair. Oh yeah, I like the blonde. All right, let's go to the blonde. Then I'll give this. And he would just send her back and forth till I got it right.
Were you the first person to give her the blonde? Was she brunette before that?
I think she was brunette. Because I remember the car, was she in the car with Biggie like this?
Yeah.
With the bang and Biggie in her.
Yeah.
I was there when she met him at the photo shoot. Crazy.
Wow.
I have so many crazy stories. You guys would take like minutes. Anyway, I meet, like I said, continue with Puffy. He started introducing me. Mary and Faith's hairstyles got into it. We swapped hairdressers. He said, Kiyah, go on the road with Mary. So now this is the first I'd ever went on the road and toured in my life. And this is probably when I met AJ, because we had started working together with Faith.
Yeah.
So for a time period of that, I go on the road with Mary, because remember their hairdressers got into a fight. Puffy swapped us. So I go with Mary. So now I'm on tour with My Life album. So we're on tour. I'm like traveling all over. And that really was the beginning of my tour life. I toured for 13 years from that moment on. I lived on the road, but I always stayed true to a salon. So I was in New York, still work. I would be on the road, go back in the salon for a month or two. Be on the road, go back in the salon, still building my reputation and name. Then boom, September 11th happens. And I had gone to LA during my travels, just to sort of see, wow, I was like, wow, I could do it out here. I could do it out here. If I did it in New York, I could do it here. Boom, that September 11th happened. I probably moved 6 months later. And I just remember like my career just started to spiral. I started at a salon. I remember Tyra like really pressuring me to come and do a show. Like not her, but Jay Manuel, come and do the show for Tyra Banks. She's about to get this show. They said there's no money in television. I don't want to do hair for TV. I don't want to do that. I could be here and, we could make our own money. You know what I mean? And a year later, I end up going. Best move of my life. I win 2 Emmys, not 1, but 2. And it was just monumental moments after the next just happening in my life.
You still work with Tyra to this day.
I still work with Tyra if she calls me for anything, but I don't do her as much as I did, because she's been down for a while doing model land. But
remember we were in Dallas, she was here for an event and we set the fire alarms off.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're so right. Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
We'll say about that offline.
I was with Tyra.
Right, I
was wow, I was with Tyra. That's so crazy. She was had an event at that hotel. Yes. So whenever she calls, like, and I'm available between me and Kim Kimball, I don't mind these days being your B stylist. I am like totally moved into a space where I'm like, at times like this really showed me, while I was trying to balance it all, I was thinking it was so much, being a brand owner, an ambassador for P&G and doing the salon and trying to start Muse Hair, the hair business. It was so much. But do you know that right now, if I didn't have my hair, wigs and extension and product business, I would be devastated. Yeah. Slit my wrist, just doing celebrities. If I was if this was my hot year and I was running around, I'm hot no more.